So basically, last time we discussed about free fall motion.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam. And we practice questions from speed time graph, distance time graph, and free fall motion. And today we are going to start with some forces idea. So today the topic is about forces. And basically, the topic of forces explains just like the normal definition of the forces. So we all know we used to write about forces that it is push or pull on a body. So that is called forces, right? So in simple words, we used to write push or pull on a body. It is called force. Secondly, we can also define force that with the help of the force, we can change the shape, size, or the state of a body. Force can also change shape, size, or state of a body.
So it's a new topic, right?
Yes. After free
Okay.
fall motion, it is a new topic for today, forces. So basically, in the concept of the forces, it can change shape, size, or a state of a body. So it depends upon the scenario, what scenario we are talking about, because sometimes we are applying force on a body to change the state of a body from rest to motion or from motion to rest. For example, if car is moving, so we can apply force to make that car stops. So that is because of force. In the same way, if car is in rest state, so we apply force on the pedal to make it accelerate from its original position. So all these things can be done with the help of the forces, right? And there are two categories of the forces. The first one is called the contact force. So first category is about the contact forces. Contact forces means by word contact we can identify that bodies must be like in contact with each other. So when bodies are in contact with each other and they are exerting force on each other, so that force is called contact force. So we can define it is the force which come into existence when two bodies are in contact with one another. So when forces comes into existence when two bodies are in contact with one another, so there are different examples also. For example, first of all, if we discuss about the friction, So basically, when we are moving any object in any specific direction, so we got the idea of friction, because especially for friction, a body must be like in contact with the ground. So when both bodies are in contact with each other, so the force of friction can be applied on a body. In the same way, when you drop something, just like in the previous topic we discussed free fall motion. So in free fall motion, air resistance acts on the body, so they are also in contact with each other. Air resistance. And another example, when body is placed on a surface, so the action and reaction force, normal contact. So these are the example of the contact forces. Normal contact means when you place book on a table, so book is exerting force on the table and table is also exerting force on the book. That's why book is not moving in any direction, because all the forces on the book is completely balanced. Right? Any question, any confusion in this?
No, sir.
Right. So
No, sir.
this is the basic idea of the forces and the contact forces. And next we have non-contact forces. So some forces are also non-contact. For that type of force, we don't require any direct contact between the bodies. Without any contact, they can still exert force on each other. Non-contact forces, the force can act between bodies, even at a distance. From each other. Very simple example, gravitational force. So for example, if we consider two planets, so two planets can exert force on each other, that is the force of gravity. So we have gravitational force. And we can also use the idea from the magnets. Magnets can also exert force on each other even if they are at a distance. So we call it magnetic force. And the third category is about electrostatic. We talk about charges. So when charges attract or repel each other, so that is the idea of electrostatic force. So this is the difference between the contact forces and non-contact forces. And in exam, they not ask about like any formula or any equation, any calculation for this type of forces, because there is no formula, there is no equation for this concept. Secondly, if we talk about further categories and the further concept related to the forces, so let's suppose we have the idea of forces acting in different direction. So for example, first we explain forces with the reference of Newton's first law. So in Newton's first law, so Newton's first law of motion, if we consider, so basically there are different types of forces in our surrounding, and we are working with different forces on daily basis. And the general idea given by the Newton's first law, so that is about the concept of resultant force. For example, if we write the statement first, so statement is an object continues in a state of rest or uniform motion unless acted upon by a resultant force. So basically, if we talk about Newton's first law of motion, so Newton's first law is very simple, very basic. For example, if you consider any object that is in rest state, let's suppose if chair is placed somewhere in the room, so that chair will remain at that specific position unless we apply force on that chair and we move that chair from that specific position. And in the same way, if body is moving, so body will continue to move until and unless we apply brake to it. So then that body becomes stop and it comes into rest state. So there is an idea of resultant force. Resultant force means when multiple forces are acting on a body, so we just combine them. So the sum of all forces is called resultant force. So in simple words, resultant force can be defined as sum of all forces. So sum of all forces means, if you consider some examples, so in this question we can see how forces are acting on a body. So this is the idea of Newton's first law, and we will practice question how to solve the resultant force. And for force, we can use the SI unit of Newton, because the Newton's law, we are using the SI unit. in newtons n. And definitely it is a vector quantity because direction is very important for force. So we are using direction with the forces. So that's why direction is also important. It is a vector concept. In the question, four forces act at a point as shown. And what is the size of the resultant force? So now you can see four forces are acting on a body in different direction. So you can see one force towards right hand side of 4 Newton, and it is opposite to this one. So these two forces are opposite to each other, 8 Newton and 4 Newton. So basically these two forces are opposite to each other. So it means 8 plus minus 4, because we are using minus sign because 4 is in opposite direction of 8, or like 8 is in opposite direction of 4. So you need to write minus sign with any one of it. It's your choice because both are opposite to each other. So 8, we are actually adding up the force, but since it is in opposite direction, so we are using negative sign. So negative sign is for opposite direction. So 8 plus minus 4. In the same way, now we have two vertical forces. 2, 2. It means 2, again plus minus 2. So 2 is also in the opposite direction of the first. So we need to cancel out, right? They cancel out each other completely. But 8 and 4 are not exactly equal, so we need to subtract them, and we got answer 4 Newton, right? So this is the idea of resultant force. So you just need to add all the forces. You need to add all the forces that are acting in same direction. And we need to also add all the forces in opposite directions but with negative sign, because negative sign represents the opposite direction. Okay, so basically we are adding up all the forces, but because some forces are in opposite direction, so we need to add minus sign with them. Okay,
Sir, why did you cut?
basically 2 and 2 are exactly equal and opposite to each other. So they are exactly equal and opposite to each other. So they makes like 0. Plus 2 minus 2
Okay, okay.
will be equals to 0. It is not compulsory you cut them down. You got result 0 from them. So that is the
Ah, okay, I got it.
yes. Okay. Secondly, if you consider another question related to the resultant force idea, like this. So which object has the largest resultant force? So in this question, we have now multiple forces in different directions. In option A, two forces are acting towards left hand side, one force is acting towards the right. So we know that we have to add them. It becomes 10 plus 10, 20. So we got 30 minus 20 in short. In option B, again, we need to add them, and this is individual. We got same answer, 10 Newton. In option C, it is 5 plus 5, 10 equals to 20 Newton. And finally, all three forces are in the same direction equals to 15 Newton. So in which option we are getting greatest resultant force?
C.
C. So in this way, we can identify direction and the value for the resultant force of any type of forces. So this is one scenario related to when forces are acting in a single direction. We will also discuss what happens when they act in opposite direction, like perpendicular direction. So basically, this is the idea for resultant force. And in resultant force, we need to check how many forces are acting in forward direction, how many forces are acting in backward direction, same vertical upward, vertical downward. Because in the previous free fall motion, you remember, we discussed weight is acting in downward direction, air resistance in opposite direction. So they are exactly opposite to each other. And in Newton's first law of motion, we use the concept of equilibrium state. Okay, the concept of the equilibrium state is either body is in completely rest state, body is not moving, or body is in uniform motion state. So there are two possibilities. Either body is in rest state. So when body is in rest state, so the speed of the body is equals to zero. And uniform motion, you remember the concept of constant speed or uniform speed. So speed is constant and direction is also constant. So when direction is constant, speed is constant. So this is called equilibrium state, right? And how it is possible? According to Newton's first law, as we discussed, the idea of resultant force. So let's suppose if car is moving with a constant speed in forward direction. So let's suppose car is moving in forward direction and forces are acting on this car. So if we write down all the forces acting on a car, so first of all, with the help of engine. So with the help of engine, force applied on the car is in forward direction. So engine helps to move car in forward direction. So this is the force due to engine. And car is moving definitely on a ground surface, so there is frictional force. We have frictional force and we also have air resistance. So these two forces are acting in backward direction. So engine force, air resistance and friction, they both are acting in opposite direction. So constant or uniform motion means that these forces are equal and opposite to each other, right? Just like in this question, we have 2 Newton and 2 Newton. So in the same way, if let's suppose the force of engine is equals to, let's suppose 80 Newton, and car is moving with constant speed. We are not pressing accelerator, we are not releasing it. It is like on a constant place. So we will also get the same force in opposite direction, 80 Newton. And the weight of the body because of gravity that acts in downward direction. And for example, that is equals to 100 Newton, let's suppose. So just like we discussed normal reaction, so because of normal reaction, like force exerted by the ground on the car, that is equals to the same value. So now you can see all forces are equal and opposite to each other, right?
Yes, sir. Sir, R stands for
Normal reaction. It
uh,
means normal reaction.
the. Wait. And sir, in the forward direction, it's written F engine.
Engine force. Engine. Yes. It is the force of engine basically. So a normal reaction means whenever like you are taking support from the wall or from any surface, so that surface applies force on your body and we are like in rest state. So that is called normal force. We are exerting force on that surface and that same surface also provides force in opposite direction. So that is normal reaction. So these are the forces acting on a body when body is moving with constant speed or uniform speed. So that's why it is very compulsory that in uniform speed, all forces must be equal and opposite, or in other words, we can say that forces are completely constant to each other or equal and opposite to each other. We got sum of all forces equals to 0. So in this particular case, if you add all the force, so sum of all forces will be equals to 0, right? Because 100 cancel out 100, 80 cancel out 80. It means there is no resultant force acting. Okay, this is the concept of uniform motion, right? Because in rest state, only one force, that is the weight of the body acting in downward direction. But in motion, there are multiple forces acting. So if all values are equal and opposite to each other, so then it is called a uniform speed or uniform motion. In the same way, when we were talking about free fall motion, so in free fall motion, what happens when downward force becomes equals to the upward force? So body starts to fall with terminal velocity, right? So that terminal velocity is also this constant speed or constant velocity, right? Any question in Newton's first law?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, so next Newton's second law. In the first law, we got idea of resultant force, the idea of the force. And in Newton's second law, we will get a formula to solve this force with numbers also. Newton's second law of motion. So in Newton's second law of motion, there is a concept of acceleration included. For example, if we take the example of a runner, or if we take example of a car, for example, if you are running with very high speed and your speed is increasing, so it means you are exerting more force on your body to move your body more faster, right? So we got acceleration because the speed changes. In the same way, when you press the accelerator with greater force, so car starts to accelerate with greater quantity, right? So it means acceleration depends upon the force. So if greater resultant force, greater acceleration, right? So Newton's second law can be defined as acceleration So acceleration is directly proportional to resultant force and is in the same direction as resultant force. So the direction of resultant force is same as the direction of acceleration of a body. Directly proportional means if one quantity is increasing, the second is also increasing, right? So the formula for Newton's second law is, this is the formula, F equals to ma, and if we apply a greater force, acceleration will be also greater, right? And for the value of the force, we need to consider all the forward forces and all the backward forces. In the same way, all the upward force, all the downward forces, right? So this F represents the resultant force. So this F represents the resultant force acting on a body. And for example, if we want to apply this formula on the question, so let's see how we can apply this formula on the question. And you will get many questions from this specific formula for like minimum 2 marks in theory and 1 mark in MCQs. So let's suppose question number 5. So in question number 5, a metal ball of mass 0.3 kg and weight 3 Newton is held so that it is below the surface of the oil. So this sphere is actually below the surface of the oil. It experiences an upward force of 0.3 Newton. It is mentioned in the diagram also. You can see one force is acting upward, one force is acting downward. So when you drop this ball into the surface of the oil, so you need to find out its acceleration. So according to the formula, we have formula F equals to ma. So there are two forces given. One is the upward and second is the downward. So this force is downward force, this one is upward force. And we need to find out acceleration, or acceleration will be equals to F over m. So how to solve the forces given in this question? We can use the idea that these forces are opposite to each other, right? So just like we discussed in resultant force, we need to add them, but they are in opposite direction, so we need to use a minus sign. A is equals to, we have 3 Newton minus 0.3 newtons divided by the mass is 0.3 kg, like this. Okay. So these are the two forces acting. One is in downward direction, second in upward. So we need to find out Resultant force first. Yes, any question?
Sir, why did we subtract 3 from 0.3?
The reason is in this diagram, you can see one force is acting in downward direction, that is the weight of the body, and the second force is acting in upward direction. So whenever we got forces in the question, so we need to find out resultant force first, right? So resultant force means the sum of all forces. So when we add all the forces, so it will be like 3 Newton plus minus 0.3, because zero point 0.3 is in opposite direction of the weight. So we need to add minus sign. So that's why we are using 3 minus 0.3 in calculation. Okay,
Okay, sir.
like this. And you will get answer 2.7 divided by zero point 0.3. That is equals to 9. Okay, so if we consider one more question related to the same idea of Newton's second law. Question number 10. An apple of mass 0.15 kg and weight 1.5 newtons falls from a tree. At one point during its fall, the air resistance on apple is 0.6 newton upwards. So what is the acceleration? So try this question to find out acceleration. So how many forces are acting on a body?
Sir, I don't understand this question.
Okay, this question is also like the previous question. There are two forces acting. The one force is the weight. So the weight of the body is acting in downward direction. And the second force is acting in upward direction, that is air resistance. So there are two forces. So in this question, we have same scenario. One force downward and the other one is zero point 0.6 Newton.
Sir, I'll put F as weight.
Mhm.
Sir?
Yes, one force is W, right? Weight. This is the weight and this is air resistance. Symbol is your choice. You can write F1, F2, FA, FP, whatever the symbol you want to write. FW, FR. So it's up to you. So in short, to find out resultant force, we need to subtract them. 1.5 minus 0.6. It's 0.9. Right? So it is 0.9 newtons. Resultant force.
Sir, FR is what?
FR means resultant force. We are calculating resultant force. Because these two forces are opposite, so we are subtracting them. Because of opposite direction, we are using negative sign. Okay?
Okay.
And finally, F equals to MA formula. A is equals to F over M. So force is 0.9 and mass is 0.15. So when we divide them, we got answer 6. Right? This is the final answer for the acceleration of the body. Okay? So these are some questions related to Newton's second law, and you can practice this question and revise this question by yourself also, because next time we will practice some more questions, so you will get more clear idea related to the resultant forces and Newton's law. And next time we will also add Newton's third law. So before that, try to revise these concepts related to Newton's first and second law.